Hello lovely people, welcome to the video. My name is Athena. I'm a brand new writer working on my first book whilst homeschooling my two girls and being with them 24/7. Fun times. Now, this video is going to be a bit of a chat on how my first week of December went writing-wise. It is the first week when I finally started writing draft 3, like officially writing it. I spent November prepping, planning, outlining, all the fun stuff as part of the Poor Write Go 2024 challenge, Pathfinders Writing Collective. You can choose your own path, November, December, January, either November, December, January, you name it. I am writing during the months of December and January. That is the goal. I want to finish my third draft by the end of January. With that being said, how did this first week go? It is Monday, the 9th of December as I'm filming this. Oh gosh, okay, so my third draft is currently sitting at about 4,900 and something words, which I mean, okay. Forgive me if I'm like my throat or something. I feel like I'm getting sick. Like I can feel the head, the ears, the sinus. Something is happening. I don't appreciate it right now, but we're just gonna... Summertime in Australia, Melbourne specifically, is very, very weird. It is summer and yet I'm bundled up and the heater is on because it's cold. There you go. Now, so I was interrupted for a good 20 minutes there. What was I even saying? Yes, so my manuscript, my draft. My draft is sitting currently at 4,920 something words. Not where I would have wanted to be after the first week of December, but I will say this. I started on Monday, which was the 2nd of December. Monday and Tuesday, I got in about 400 words per day, which was the prologue. And I was kind of having a bit of a hard time getting back into it, but okay at the end of it. The next day Wednesday, I started trying to write chapter 1. I wrote and deleted so many words. I think I ended the day on I think it was like 500 words or something, but the actual number would probably be way higher than that because I wrote a good 300, 400 words and I would delete them because I would hate them completely. Like I wouldn't even, it was like, this is terrible, this is awful. I was so stuck. I'm so overthinking it. And a small bit of information, draft 3 is the draft that I am going to be actually getting feedback on, as in giving it to people like my mom, my sister-in-law, maybe even looking into a critique partner or whatever. I need feedback officially, I know that. I think the problem was I started writing knowing I was going to be giving it to someone else. And I kind of really got into my head about it. You know what I mean? I really started overthinking it and that was not helping. And then I'm also trying to add information and world building and whatnot into it. And I was struggling with that first scene. Struggling. To the point, of course, that I realized, okay, I'm struggling with this first scene. I'm not sure what is wrong with it, what's happening. I just need to move on. So at some point I just kind of gave up and moved on. Fun fact, once I moved on from that first scene, I was able to tackle the rest of the first chapter. I got 2,700 words in on Thursday. Seriously. So I got in a large chunk and then the next day I got another 1,000. I really went to town on chapter 1 after that point. It was just that first scene. I could not for the life of me get past it in that moment. And then once I was just leave it. It is what it is. I will correct it later. I will fix it later. I will go back in editing. My battery is flashing because why not? Battery has been changed. What was I saying? End of the story is I finished this week having written chapter 1, prologue and chapter 1. I'm very happy with the rest of the chapter. I'm not happy with that first scene. I really need to redo it. However, I'm not going to redo it until I finished technically the setup for my main female character. That's just what we're going to do. Her setup is an extra couple chapters, I think, and that's it. So that's kind of where I'm going to do that. But oh my lord. I really got in my head and I could not move forward. And once I did, the amazing thing is once I did just kind of leave that to the side, and I was like, it's draft 3. I will fix it later on. It is what it is. I managed to really make progress, so there's that. Now another thing I did, because I was so stuck, and this also kind of has helped me figure out how to move on at this point, I gave my mum the prologue and the first chapter for her to read and just give me nothing crazy feedback-wise, just to tell me if she feels like the story's making an actual sense. If the prologue then shifting into the first chapter is okay, and if the first chapter just makes sense in any form, shape, or just any capacity. And her feedback was actually pretty interesting. She is a teacher, so she did try to kind of correct a few things, and I was like, I don't need correcting, I just need feedback as to the flow, the pacing, like, you know, dialogue and exposition kind of thing, like that kind of thing. And it was generally good feedback with a few little things that then made me realize why I was stuck in the first one. So that helped out. I'm definitely going to look into maybe finding a critique partner who is more into, who is actually a writer, you know, and more into this whole kind of thing, because as much as I know my mother and my sister-in-law and maybe my aunt will help me as far as like just the reader side of things, I do need someone who also understands the way writing works, the way drafting works. Because my mom, for now, for example, I haven't written the rest of draft 3. I need her to help me, like, to give me feedback on draft 3, not draft 2. But she doesn't understand that, and she keeps asking me for the rest of the book. And I'm kind of like, I haven't written it. And she's like, but you have a whole big draft on your desk. Like, there's a whole draft 2. And I'm like, the story is gonna change. Like, scenes are changing, moving around. I'm adding emotion, information. I'm, you know, like, things are being, like, it's gonna be different. There's no point in you reading and giving me feedback on draft 2 because a whole bunch of scenes, especially in Act 1, will be different. So there's that little thing when you're dealing with people who don't understand the writing side of it as much as the reading side of it. And you can still be a reader and a beta reader and an alpha reader and understand the concepts, but you know, that is what it is. Anyway, that's just a little tidbit. So right now, my plan as we're moving forward for this week, I am planning on doing more videos in general, but as far as writing is concerned, I am gonna just keep working at it one chapter at a time. I'm giving myself a little bit of more like, I'm a little more lenient this first week and this second week in December, and probably as we near towards Christmas, again, I'll be a little more lenient, but I'm giving myself a bit of a slower start. I'm allowing myself not too much, because if I give myself like complete, like, oh, you have 2 months, you know, I would probably end up just trying to write it in the last 2 weeks of January, right? But I'm trying not to stress myself. I'm trying not to kick myself too hard because I'm only at barely 5,000 words at the end of the first week. I know that I will pick up speed because I know that Act 2 is a lot more like fleshed out. It's a lot more, it doesn't need as much work as Act 1. Act 1 is the one that really needs work, and I know I need to just kind of get out of my head about it and really focus on just writing the way I want to write and not overthink the, oh, I need to finish X amount of words. You know, I don't want to do that to myself because I know that I will work faster through Act 2 in the same way that I was able to get through, you know, Act 1, Chapter 1 so quickly after a point, was because half of the chapter I was pretty happy with in the second draft. So it was just adding a few things, emotions, character, just kind of, you know, giving it a bit of more oomph, so to speak. So that's why I was able to get like 2,700 words in a day. So I know that that will be okay. I'm not, it's revision, it's not like drafting from zero. And chapter 2 at this point, however, is complete, like there's a completely new scene, which I'm actually excited to write though, because I do have like the dialogue and the general idea already set out, and I've outlined it and everything. So, you know, see how that goes. Also, I started using this here. These are amazing. The emotion thesaurus, this I've just started going through, like the emotional wound thesaurus, but it makes so much sense for my characters. I can't even, it's like, I know what I want to write. I know the emotions, I know the trauma, I know, you know, all of those things. But it's so much more, like, it's so helpful to have, like, ideas written down for you. Like, and you're like, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, I'll see something and I'll be like, that's what I was looking for. It was right, like, when it's right at the end of your, like it's right there. You know what you want, but you can't put it into words. And you see an example here and it's like, that's it. They are amazing. Amazing, amazing. The emotion thesaurus, and it's like a whole series of like writer thesaurus. Like they are amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I think at this point, I'm gonna let you guys go. I have no idea how long this video is gonna be because I had to stop it like multiple times with interruptions and whatnot. First week of December challenge is, that is what it is. I am gonna try and do a lot more like actual writing vlogs moving forward. So hopefully, like, you know, the next video is more of a day by day how I kind of write kind of thing. I will try. I can't promise much. I am also going to do a video kind of talking more about my book, about the story itself, and my general ideas and thoughts and plans in regards to the book. Because, you know, just saying, oh, random story doesn't really help. I mean, it's a fantasy romance. I was kind of thinking it might have been a portal romance. It's not a portal one, though. It's not a portal fantasy. It might be considered a portal fantasy, but I don't think, yeah. See, I'll make a separate video on that. We'll talk about that. But yes, that is what it is right now, and I'm just gonna see how we go. I'm hoping that these 5,000 words that I got in last week will at least triple over this next week, as we, you know, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm sick, my head hurts. I'm definitely getting a head cold of sorts. I do not like it one bit. I'll see you guys in the next one.